There was a famous book of translating talks he had in Bombay called I Am That. And this is from there. So the person's asked them a question. And the answer is this: the discovery of truth is in the discernment of the false. Yeah. So the discovery of the truth is in the discernment of the false. Pure negation, yes? All right, let me see. I'm losing it now. But I guess that's all it's going to show me. Oh, here it goes. You can know what is not. What is, you can only be. Yeah, simple, isn't it? So this is the fundamental premise of the principle that we look at duality from. This is the clarity. The discernment of the truth is seeing the false. Yeah, you cannot know what you are because you're being it. So you know what you're not. Yeah. So knowledge, forget it. I lost that. Well, that's all you need. I could go on, but the page is bent. All right, hold on a second. Yeah. Knowledge is relative to the known. In a way, it is the counterpart of ignorance. Of course, this is a dualistic event, yes? Where ignorance is not. Where is the need of knowledge? So the sense is there's a knowledge before knowledge, yes? There's a knowledge before the dualistic knowledge and ignorance. There's a knowing before knowledge. And that knowing comes from the sense of I am, yeah? There's a beingness or an existence. And as Ramana said in one of the statements that he repeats in all the teachings, all the people who wrote about his teachings, you'll find the same idea. And it's usually prefaced as the problem or the greatest mystery. So hello everyone, but just jump in right now. So, and it's a very clear statement. It says there is a presupposing. It's not saying you're doing it. There is a presupposing of a non-existent thing. Guess what that is? Yeah, anyone?
Self.
The
No,
non-existing thing.
is the body.
Oh, the body.
Oh,
Yeah,
the body.
self is not a thing. It's actually an idea.
It's the idea that I'm a body.
Yes. So the body is a non-existent thing.
It's
Okay.
it's either anticipated or remembered. It doesn't exist.
Well, let's just look at this simply. All right. Let's close the peanut gallery for a second. And here it is. There's a presupposing. So pre means before, yes? So obviously before and after is of time. So this supposing is of time. How is it of time? That which is supposed is presupposed. It's historically implied when it's being imagined now. Yeah. So there's a presupposing of a non-existent thing. What's the presupposing of that non-existent thing? That it's existing. Yes. As the thing, by the thing. Yeah. So the presupposing of a non-existent thing, wanting to get salvation for the non-existent thing. Yeah. If this is the case, and the way that he presented it, it's pretty sure that it is the case when it comes to the mental sequencing. Yeah. Your spiritual practices themselves will be reinforcing the non-existent thing. How can they destroy it? Very simple, yes? Now, this doesn't mean there's nothing wrong with spiritual practices, because your monetary practices will do the same thing, because there'll be a claiming of being the one who's doing the monetary practices. Yeah. They're going to be the claiming that there's a one that's doing the spiritual practices, the one that's doing the yogic practices, the one that's out of doing the Tai Chi practices, the one that's doing the basketball practice, the one that's doing the surfing practice. Yes. This is the presupposing. We don't need to look at what comes after spirituality, surfing, this and that, but because of this topic, it's presented in the context of spirituality. Yes. There's a presupposing of a non-existent thing that wants to get salvation for itself, for a non-existent thing. Yes. And through whatever it's practicing or doing, that doing is claimed to imply the doer, which is seen and imaged and remembered as the non-existent thing. So the doing gets claimed and is presented with this idea that there's a doer, and the doer is pictured in the head as the body. Yeah. You see? So the claiming is not choice, not volition, it's mechanical. There's the claiming of whatever you're doing, spiritual, yogic, basketball, surfing, goofing off, whatever. Whatever's happening, that happening, something is brought into contact with it, which is the mental activity. The mental activity claims the thing and now uses it to imply there's a doer of it. And then you're remembered as a body. Yes. So when you feel like a doer, do you feel like a doer right now, or do you feel like you've been a doer for quite a while? Is this the first thought that you ever thought? Is this the first thought that you've ever thought? Or this is a thought and you've had thousands of thoughts? You have thought thousands of thoughts. Is this the first feeling that you ever felt? Or are you seen as a historical feeler, the historical taster, the historical thinker, the historical doer, the historical haver, this historical loser? This is the presupposing of the non-existent thing being that which is existing. Yes. And it's pictured as a body. It's manufactured and it's remembered in time. Yeah. So the word pre is when it supposes you're a doer, you're supposed as a doer forever. Yes. You've been the doer ever since you were a kid, and you're going to be the doer until you die. Yeah. Yeah. It would be easy to get out of being the doer with this doing if you did something else. Yeah. If I'm the doer of opening the door, if I stopped opening the door, there would be a big pause and there would be a sense of no doer at all. Yeah. And then the next one, if I went and turned the water on, I would be the doer of that, you see? But every time there's a doing, there's an implying that you're a doer and you've been a doer and you're going to be a doer. Yes or no? Do you feel that? Do you have a sense of being a doer?
Paul,
No, hold it, Esther. These are rhetorical. I'll get to you in a minute, all right? Let's just go off on this riff. So in this case, your the spiritual practices are reinforcing it because of this statement we've made. Yeah? The spiritual practices are just doing. Yeah? They're not doing anything. It's the idea of who's doing it that's giving it the meaning. Yes? So this is the point, is to try to figure out the second part, which is your spiritual practices are reinforcing that which you'd like to escape from. This seems to be very confusing, but it's all clear when you see the first part, which is there's a mental activity going on without us knowing it most of the time. And yes, it doesn't need our knowledge to present it. It presents it mechanically. Yeah. So the spiritual practices themselves will be identified with, and you will be the spiritual practitioner. And in that condition, the practices you are doing to destroy something will be reinforcing it. Yes? Very clear, isn't it? Very clear. So this is what's going on. This is not about stopping that. It's about seeing it's not you. Yeah? This is not about stopping it, because you never started it. You've seen it. You're aware of it. Yeah? And there's a lot, to a point, why it continues is you're not aware of it in a lot of ways. There's an awareness of it, but in a sense, you're not aware of it. Because we're at the end point. We believe there's a self that's doing this. Like when people would call me after they come to a talk and they go, oh, I understand. I get this selfing. I get it. And then they call me and I've been selfing all day. No, that's not the message. The feeling of being the one who's selfing is the presupposing of the non-existent thing being the existing thing that's doing the selfing. That's it. That's not true. There's selfing. That's all. There's no one doing it and no one's being done to by it. There's selfing. Yeah. It's an activity. Whenever you go up in the mental conditions, you'll find it in the act of being identified as self. It's not a verb and a noun. It's not like you are in the act of being identified as this thing called self. It's a whole verb. The act of being identified as self is a whole verb that we sort of capture with the terminology of selfing. Yes? That's as far as selfing gets. So because it can't do it, it says it's already done. You see? The selfing cannot make a self. There isn't one, but it can imply that there already is one. Yeah. And by you swallowing it, we live as if we are a self. And then what happens? Some of us want to get out of self. This is the drive of addiction. And many of us here have been in recovery or from whatever. That drive to get out of self can be incredibly powerful. And you're apt to do almost anything to try to get a little relief now and pay any consequence tomorrow. Yes? And this is caught in this dilemma of self trying to get out of self. You're not in self. The solution is you're not in self. This is not another methodology to get out of self, because they all fail, don't they? Or you wouldn't be here. I'd imagine 800 attempts have been done by these Zooms, and you're here today. So obviously something's not working. Yeah? Yes, self can't get out of self. If that seems to be the case, there must be something that we've swallowed, which is the act of being identified as self. And we're actually living as that premise that was presupposed. Yeah. We think we're a historical doer, a historical, long-lasting, independent, separate thing. And the only way you can feel it is by thinking it, really. The feeling is I am. The sense of Paul being alive doesn't come from Paul. It's the I am. The sense of existence is I am. It is not Paul. Paul, there's been a robbery of that sense, and now it uses that sense to verify Paul. But Paul only comes about now by remembering Paul in the past and thinking about Paul in the future. I was Paul, I will be Paul, therefore I am, and then Paul. Yeah. The I am is forgotten, and now Paul lives as the existing thing. Who's the doer of all this shit? Who's the thinker of every thought? Who's the feeler of everything that's ever been felt? This is the bondage of self. You don't do anything about it. You hear it. If it falls, if the chits falls or something is revealed, there's going to be more coming. That's all. And you will see, you'll come to a conclusion about what you are by seeing what you're not. So we talked today earlier, about seeing the emperor with no clothes. Yeah. Seeing this whole activity with no clothes. Why is that valuable? You may never see the emperor with no clothes again, but you'll recognize it no matter how many clothing it's wearing as no clothes. Yes. The one revelation, just like I used the thing about my mom because this is how it worked. I saw my mother in a compromising position naked when I was like 12, and it sort of flipped me out. Yes. And so when I would see my mom the next day and days after that wearing clothes, all I could see was my mother without any clothes. Yeah. But this is sort of like the message. The message, you get a free sample of seeing the emperor with no clothes. And then no matter how much regalia it puts on or changes its uniform, you're going to see it. And its wardrobe is finite. What's going to happen is it's going to wear the same thing over and over again, and you're going to see it. You are going to see it. Awareness, us. Yeah. It doesn't have an infinite amount of wardrobes. It doesn't. It switches, blue shirt, green pants, green shirt, blue pants, throws you off. But after a while, all you know is the emperor has no clothes, no matter how much it's, tundra jackets, nothing. Yes. This is the message. It's not heavy lifting. Just listen, listen, listen. Hearing the message is it, not hearer of the message. The hearing of the message is it. It slows down time before the hearer kicks in. And then it's sort of like, when there was a song by Jimi Hendrix on an album, it was named Third Stone to the Sun. And if you slow it up, he would be talking like an alien visiting Earth. Yeah. You couldn't hear it when it was going regular, but if you slowed it up, you heard the message. Yeah. You heard Jimmy telling you, we're an alien or something. Yes. This is sort of like that. As soon as the hearer of the message kicks in, you're in time. And then you're thinking, I've got to remember it because I'm going to forget it. That's not the message. The message is before time. Yeah. It's not about remembering it and forgetting it. It's before time. It's the hearing of the message. The hearing of the message echoes. The hearing of the message reverberates. Yeah. And after a while, you'll hear that bass note all the time. It won't be far from wherever you think you are in what's not happening landscape. Yeah. It will be readily available at all times, right where you are. Yeah. So, all right, Esther. I just wanted to get that out there. Yeah.
Yes, please. I'm doing the lesson 31. I'm not a victim of the world I see. And last night I had no sleep. And the drive to email everyone that I knew all the things that were hidden from everybody, including my family, was done. These were done, emails and stuff. And the lesson says to say, look on the outer world. I'm not a victim of the world I see, and look at the objects and experience that truth, and then go inward and look at the thoughts. So the thoughts are arising, conclusions being made of what this and this being doing, the doings mean this, and the conclusions, and this past repeating, not happening this time, of being police dragging me to the hospital because of these emails, and the people I actually emailed would make this happen because my mother would buy into what they said and Alan would buy into what they said, and the pattern. So anyway, so all of these things aren't happening, and there's relief in seeing that. But then a colleague and I read over lesson 182, and the content of it is that what I'm looking, what all this is for is to know, I forget, but anyway, it's just wild. It's just wild. The synchronicities of this colleague bringing up this lesson and reading it out loud to me, and I'm experiencing the something I've never ever experienced ever that I can remember. This there was a seeing of the lesson, healing the split, the belief in the ego. And as you're talking and I'm listening and there's hearing the chatter is the scenarios in the background, and the lesson is to take that experience while I'm listening, hearing you, to take the outer and the inner to the I'm not a victim of the world I see.
Yes. Great. For some people that are, she's speaking from the Course in Miracles, and there's lessons there that a person does every day casually. Yeah, like in a relaxed manner, not, yes, it's not like an army routine. It's relaxed because we're relying on what's already here. There's no rush to get there. So Esther's sharing from there. Yes, Esther, because this is.
I have a clarification I have to make. I said something last time I talked to you guys that Alan said such and such, that the storytelling was not shareable. That's not. It was a misunderstanding of what he said, and he told me that I misrepresented what he said to me, as there wasn't a complete understanding of how to communicate what he was saying. So I just wanted to clear that up. I still can't communicate it, but he didn't.
Yes.
Anyway,
great.
so.
Great. Well, Esther, thank you. I'm very happy you're here, and Alan.
I need to sleep.
Yes, you do. So remember, we're gonna at Pacific time, you're going to bed at 8:30, which will be 5:30 here. Yeah.
Yeah.
5:30, you're going to bed right after this.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah.
Yes.
Remember, I thought it helps with your insomnia.
Oh, nothing helped.
Oh, well,
I was laughing at the misunderstanding occurring, and seeing what you're discussing now, and the medication that I was supposed to take for sleep in this situation didn't do anything. The herbals didn't do anything. Nothing did anything. I was driven to stay up.
Oh, well,
you know what happened? You know what happened?
Yeah.
I have had an insect situation that I thought was bed bugs since December. And the experiences that I've had with this whole thing led me to doing 6 hours, 4 hours of cleaning of the apartment. And then instead of winding down like I was supposed to, I spent the rest of the night till 11 continuing the cleanup process, and I couldn't sleep.
Okay, well, you're gonna sleep is awaiting thee. Yes.
I hope so.
Yes, just yeah. But thank you for your share. And
I'm
Alan,
sorry.
too.
I'm sorry. I just, when I don't sleep,
Don't be sorry, honey. It's not you anyway, eh?
Thank you for introducing me to certain people in your group. It's instrumental in seeing the misunderstanding in this way with the lesson.
Oh, great, great. Well, that's what this is about. You know, a lot goes on unbeknownst to the figurehead, Paul. So that's great. Yeah.
I could have never experienced the course the way I did today without your teaching and hearing the message for the last since before I met you, that September 19th, my birthday in Philly. That experience, it changed my life.
Great. Fantastic. I'm very happy about that. Mike, anyone else?
Yeah, thank you so much, Esther. And next up, we have Aaron. Aaron B. Come on in.
Aaron B.
Hey, it's Tobias and Aaron, and it's been a while. It's been like a month since we've been here with you on Zoom, but you've been with us every day. And I just wanted to say I love your enthusiasm because I feel pretty jazzed about all this. And it's not a topic that anybody else gives a fuck about, as far as I can tell, like in the general public. And so it's just exciting. Your enthusiasm is awesome. And I wanted to say that Aaron read something to me out of one of your books while we were driving to an in-person meeting at 6:30 in the morning. It was the seeing of what we're not happens is timeless. But the looking for what we are from what we're not is all time.
Yes.
And that just clicked. It was just a massive, like, woohoo! Of course, it's a super simple integration of some ideas. Oh, and the traffic one. Like you talk about when I'm not in a hurry, I don't really see traffic. And then when I've got someplace to be, there's all this traffic.
Yes.
And that has helped me in traffic, but also in meetings when someone's sharing for an absurdly long time.
Yes.
I go, wait a minute, this is traffic. Like, let's just like see this from what I am. So it's one of these practical, it's just so practical, all this,
Yeah, because a lot of the qualities or emphasis or how things are implied and insinuated is in the ingredient of time. Time is it almost like is a manufactured current in the water. It changes how you can see through the water. Yes. So but time is this activity of dreaming. It's dreaming and time are hand in hand. But obviously in recovery, you've probably had these events, what we call a pause, yeah, P-A-U-S-E, when something occurs and the whole system in time stops, yet something is still there, yeah. That's what we are. That's always here. And you get a real sense of it. And after a while, you get a flavor of it's sort of like gravity, gravity has a huge effect, but most people don't attribute its effects to gravity. They say it's the staircase or the hill or the slope is too high. Yeah. But it's really gravity. It doesn't have to do with the staircase, it's gravity. And you could try to convince people of gravity and do a thesis on gravity, but if you really want to know gravity, just go into an anti-gravity chamber, yeah? And when you're relieved of the effects of gravity, you'll know it, yeah? Because when the effects come back, you'll know that's gravity, yes? So if they would stay on, then there would be no possibility of knowing it, yeah? Because it's always there. It's like being born with a hand on your shoulder, and you don't know it's a hand, and then it's producing all these effects, like one arm is longer than the other, and you got to get your shirts tailored, and you got all these complicated rationales why your arm is longer or whatever. But finally, the hand lifts, and its presence by its absence. There was a hand when it's lifted. Yeah. So this is the message of negation. Yeah. It just, you see what you're not, And in seeing what you're not, you get a sense of that as not you. And that sense that verifies it's not you, is what we are. Yeah. So it's a trip, but it works. Yeah. So in recovery, I always have those moments, it was a timeless aspect hidden in a moment. Yeah. But you tell it and
That was the other piece that
it pause and you
Aaron
could, you know, you'd shared something. And that which is the truth, the mental before. Go ahead. Yeah.
Yep. Well, the vertical download is available in all the horizontal points.
Yes, exactly.
Like
Yes.
another coming out of your book, and that
Yes.
the time can be like basically stepped out of at any point, anywhere. And I even
Well, yeah,
ended a
yeah.
share in that meeting. I ended a share with like, time is to the mind what gravity is to the body. Again, I just
Yeah,
posted a bunch of your shit. It was awesome.
The thing is, see, what steps into time is never going to step out of time. You see, you're not that which steps into time. Yeah. That's the out of time. That which steps into time, if it steps out of time, it's going to drag time like dog shit with it. Yeah.
Dog shit awareness.
But time,
Hey, Paul, we're having trouble with your audio.
Asian. What was that, Mike?
We were having trouble with your audio.
Oh, yeah. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
All right. So we were talking about self-inquiry that was rooted in the oldest scriptures in the world, the Vedas. And in self-inquiry, there's an aspect of the head that is the asker of the question, who am I? And there's an aspect of the head who is the one that gets asked by the question, who am I? Neither of them are us. Yeah. So the idea of self-inquiry is the negation of these assumed subjects, the one who's asking the question and the one who's being asked the question. That's the beauty. So when they get nullified, they're still you. There is an essential quality here, and it's not of the mental condition. Yeah. The seeing is completely essential for there to be the idea of a seer. But for the seeing, there's no need for the idea of a seer. But for the seer, there must be seeing, because the seer is derived by the claiming of the seeing. Yeah. So sometimes I think these are ways of just trying to get something across. A thing out of the Course in Miracles, you and I give everything all the meaning it has. That sounds pretty comprehensive. Everything and all are absolute statements, yes? Everything and all means everything and all. So if you and I are giving everything all the meaning it has, we're playing a pretty big role here. I mean, on a level that we're not recognizing as the little action figure. Yeah. So who am I? And then you wait for an answer. That which asked the question is not us. That which is going to answer the question is not us. We are the space where all this activity is happening in. Yeah. So when they nullify themselves and you're still there, that's a beautiful free sample. Hopefully it carries in time. I hope that little whiff is, you can sense that smell as you go. Yeah. So anyone else, Mike?
Not at this time, Paul.
This is the only time. All right,
This is the only time.
Can I just say
If you have-
something?
Yeah.
No, that was
let me
really.
hold on. I have to think about that for a second. Let's see.
All right, we're waiting. All right, let's wait.
I'm gonna take a vote.
In no time, let's
Right,
just.
come on, Mina. Go ahead.
Yeah,
Esther says yes for me. All right.
yeah.
go.
No. All this body identification stuff's been really cool today, and what Esther just shared, and the sleep stuff, and all of that. I just wanted to say thank you, and I think we're in good hands. I'm really feeling that very, very beautifully. And Esther, we're in good hands, dear. And thank you.
Yeah. Well, if you're gonna have to entertain one and the other, being in good hands is sort of better than being in bad hands. We might as well lean that way. But there's no one who can decide, of course, but if you feel like you can decide.
Mm,
Good hands.
yeah. No, these satsangs are just, yeah.
What Mia is telling me is that it's not next Tuesday. And it's
No.
not last Tuesday. I mean, that's what, because the head was telling me, it's going to happen again. You're going to wind up in the hospital because people are going to put you there, and
Yes.
and it's not happening.
No. Unless you have a virtual reality. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the virtual reality. That's where it's happening.
I mean,
That's
the
not, but
screen
but the
background.
misunderstanding that you're teaching, that's not me.
Of course. How are you going to get out of it? If you keep trying to get out of it and it's not you, it's going to fail. That's its value, really. But it's trippy because the self thing says you already are a self. Yeah. So you don't have many options after that. So basically, if it feels very hostile, there's going to be a drive of trying to get out of that, like a natural reaction, which is really the bigger in than what you're afraid to be in. The wanting to get out of it is the bigger in. Yeah. So this was the only solution that started before the premise that I'm in something I want to get out of. And it informed me that I'm not in what I want to get out, and I'm not out of what I want to get in. Yeah, beautiful. Yeah. And it's like Nisargadatta, he heard something from his master, his teacher, and he took it to heart. And he had great faith, and it just became obvious to him. Yeah. And so in a weird way, that's how simple it can be. I mean, some of us have seen enough. Yeah, already. If you've survived, let's say, heavy addiction or alcoholism, you've seen enough of the mental gymnastics. I mean, it was someone needs to read you a different way of seeing it, or inform you, hey, you can see it this way. What? Yeah. No, everyone, would give you great credit of trying to get out of this or get out of that with spiritual practice and shit like that. But basically, the whole premise of questioning, are you in, to me is the most satisfying one. Yeah. Because I'm outmatched in the trying to get out. I'm just them. I tried to get out my whole life since I've been 6 years old. I've used a lot of different vehicles. Yeah. I never tried, because there's no need to try, to not be in, because that's the fact. Yeah. I don't have to make any effort or thought concerning that. All I got to do is see and be willing to have blue appear to be blue and not take the interpretation of the blue. Yeah. And I was for a moment, I guess. Grace abounds, and there you go. Something that didn't need to be corrected, but surely needed to be corrected, got corrected, yes? But when it gets corrected, there was no need for it because there was nothing ever that way. It was just appearing to me that way. Yeah. This is the world of seemingly so. Seemingly, one of the definitions is it appears to be true or false to you. Yeah. Now, does it appear to be true or false to me based on that which is appearing? No. Based on what it's appearing to, yes. Yes. The appearing ain't doing anything. The appearance is empty. You and I are giving it all the meaning it has. We're giving something that's empty and does not exist the meaning of being existing and full of meaning to give us. Yeah. There's a lesson in the course or a statement. It says, you and I are the dreaming of the dream. I don't like the word dream or dreamer, dream. You know, I like dreaming, but let's use what was written. You and I are the dreamer of the dream. We forget that. That interested me. How the hell is the dreaming forgetting that it's dreaming? Yeah. And then it's became obvious by being identified as the dreamt. Yes. So now the dreaming forgets its dreaming by being identified as the dreamt, and now gives everything it's dreaming the power to affect it. Yes. You are giving the meaning to that which is biting you in the ass. And by being identified with the action figure, you have an ass to be bit. Yeah. And so the thing goes. And so now you want to get out of the dream as the dreamt, instead of realizing you've never been in the dream as the dreaming. Yes. So what needs to be corrected? Another supercharged, exotic, extreme, radical way of the dreamt, realizing it's the dreaming? No. Just seeing you're not the dreamt. Yeah. All things will clear up, and you'll see a seamless logic in the negation of what you're not. You'll see it. Yeah. It's seamless. It doesn't eat its own tail. It doesn't turn into a big act of doing down the road. It's just basically a disarming in the beginning, the middle, and the end. Disarming. Yeah. You rely on what's reliable, awareness. You see it. Yep. How did it work with me? Traveling lighter. Yeah. The action figure admitting that it can't do it, that something has done for it what it could not do. And what I've watched in years and years of entertaining these ideas are just a traveling lighter throughout whatever life has in store for the action figure. Yeah. Some contraction shit, some expansion shit. It doesn't matter. It travels lighter through it. And I'm telling you, as an event here, what more do you want, really? You're not going to transcend this place as a body. You're not going to go up into heaven and play 18 holes of golf. It's not the way it goes. Yes. It's an admittance. You can't do it. Yeah. The action figure has a certain pay scale. It can't go beyond that. Yes. It cannot understand the non-understandable. It cannot describe the indescribable. It cannot comprehend the incomprehensible. It just can't. It's above its pay scale. Yeah. The beautiful reason why is because you are the incomprehensible. You are the indescribable. Yes, you are it. Yeah. Yeah. It's a totally different basis of living. It is. Totally different basis of living. Yeah. The head keeps presenting the story. it was presented as a news station. Now it's a comedy station. That changed. And basically, you know, it makes up its big plans and big designs, but they're seen as little plans and little designs. But to it, it's still big. It's still all there is. It's funny. It's hilarious, really. So, but now you're directed, and the position of director has been filled. Yeah. And it's not it. It's not the old employer. He hasn't come from rehab and becomes the new employer. No, he's not managerial quality. It's not managerial quality. It's not managerial quality. It's yes. Yeah. So I don't know. Life has been lucky for me. I don't have much pressure on it. A lot of things people come and share, I don't have intimate experience with. I haven't had kids. I don't think I could do justice to depression. I don't think I've ever had what I feel people have had called depression in this life. Yeah. I've had those crazy times, but I haven't. So I stay out of a lot of businesses that I'm not privy to. Yeah. But I do believe these principles can outshine on all the circumstances and situations and all the ways we could be knotted. This could only be a way of traveling lighter through it if there's the hearing of it, the seeing of the message. Yes. Yeah. So I would not recommend to ask me, advice about relationships or financial investments or many topics. Yeah. Yeah. But
Can I say something again that kind of just comes from a talk I was writing up from Italy, where you talk about my own private Idaho, and even though, you know, your experience has been through, you know, using drugs, and we each identify in our own way through, you know, whatever it you know, this whole obsession with self-identification maybe, and this idea of a loss of interest, you know, based on things not being, you know, that we're not that. And then you kind of go on about this surveillance thing, and maybe this helps, you know, this idea of this constant surveillance of you know, a magnifying glass, and that getting moved. I thought that was very hopeful and beautiful. And then you go on to say about something that St. Francis of Assisi said, and then you say it in your way, and I found that really, really illuminating. So do you mind if I just share that really quickly?
no, I don't mind.
Okay, so it's I think that the original thing is yourself forgetting that you're, oh wait a minute, sorry, no.
It's in self-forgetting.
It's in
self-forgetting.
forgetting self. Self-forgetting is a way of remembering self. So it enhances that magnification maybe. And then forgetting of self is what you say, I think, is incredible.
Yes.
And then you take it a step further, which just blew me away. That was an avalanche. And then you realize you're unborn. It's not you're reborn, you're unborn.
Yes.
So that was a major avalanche of that message. Yeah.
So see, there's a statement in recovery where they say self-knowledge avails us nothing, but I feel knowledge of self is very valuable, because knowledge of self will inform you you're not that. And that's what's needed. In my case, I'm serious. I got sort of struck sober in this world, this life. And that night, that happened in a late morning, somewhere in a trailer park. And that night I was at an AA meeting based on something set off a train of circumstances that brought me to an AA meeting. And that miracle was wedded to a way of life, recovery. So that miracle would have probably died on the vine. I probably would have been drunk that weekend if I hadn't been introduced to the way of life called recovery. So I went to an AA meeting, and I've been going ever since. Yeah. So after about 7 years or so, and I was starting to be clear about this idea of self had defeated me, but I was still seeing it sort of like, I feel what people call an ego. Yes. I wasn't getting the sense of self, which is a more vague, but much more influential thing. And then one day I was reading the big book and I read this sentence and I saw the word self as foreign to me, completely foreign to me, like a parasite or
Yeah, I love that.
that. So I said, being convinced self manifested in various ways is what has defeated us. We will now look at its common manifestations. So that happened. Yeah. The next second after I saw it as foreign to me, the possibility of being free from it became available. And then it gave me like a quick survey of my life from 6 till at that point I was 40 something. Yeah. And in that survey, it showed me the theme of my life was self trying to get out of self. Through drugs, through reading, through spirituality, back to drugs and drinking. Yes. Basically, self was trying to get out of self. And I saw that as the essence of the bondage. Yeah. Yeah. But now that I saw it, I could be free from it. And then that little time sketch informed me I had been trying to be free as self most of my life. Yeah. So this was a correction that actually never needed to be made because it was never true. I was never a self that had to become an unself. I was never a self. It was beautiful. Yeah. Yeah. So finally, the idea of I'm not in instead of another way to get out, because I tried so many ways to get out, but I never tried, maybe you're not in. It's sort of like that simple thing of you're trying to pull a door open and it's a push, it escapes you maybe for years. And then someone sees your plight and goes, no, push it. And then the door opens with no effort or thought. It was a lot of effort and thought when you think it was pull, but there's none when it's push. Yeah. So since then, after that, I got involved in stuff and I was brought to satsang in the 90s. And I heard the message. I was hearing it. I couldn't even hear the lady. She was she was very soft spoken and it was in a park. I couldn't even hear what she was saying, but it didn't matter. Something was happening. And then I read a couple of books and I went to a couple of places. And then it was sort of like, the head was in the tiger's mouth. It was too late. It had passed the point of no return. So, yeah. And then my role in recovery changed because I got brought to spiritual groups to share, and I saw spiritual addiction in all of its lovely glory. Yeah. And I realized, I realized a lot then. So yeah, here we are on a Tuesday. Yeah. So thanks, Mia.
Thank you. Super Tuesday satsang. Thank you.
Super Tuesday. Yeah. All right. Well, listen, I think that's it, Mike. Let's say goodbye. If someone has
Okay.
question, so.
No, nobody else has questions right now. All right, I don't see any hands up.
I should put this.
Wait,
hold on a
Paul,
second. Yeah.
please do another book and make it the Italy Talks content of it.
That will happen sooner or later.
I sent to the teacher that I had been starting the course with a picture of your books that I have and a picture of you and me together in an email. I don't know what may come of it, but I was very honest and I said that the way the message had been heard by him, and I was just open. But without you, this never would have.
Oh, great. Well, it would have, honey, but I've had the great privilege of a small role in it. It
Thank
was
you.
inevitable, honey. It's like the book you read, it says you are dreaming yourself out of the dream. And as you do, the dream gets happier. So I'm just a character in the dream that you met to facilitate you dreaming yourself out of the dream. There you go. And vice versa. This isn't like it's not like it's a dual highway. Yeah. It's very inclusive. Everyone's getting worked on, not one person's working on another. Yeah.
And I have a private thought, Paul. Yeah, I wish I had more money because I don't want you to ever have to worry about rent.
Don't worry. I'm not worrying about it today.
Well, not worry about it, but not have it be a thing.
What? Oh, yeah. Well, it isn't really, So, but all the help, everything that see what happened, I'll tell you, it was a strange situation when we started in do you have a minute, Mike? Yeah.
Yes, Paul. Yes, of course.
I'm going to tell you an origin story of Zen Bitch Slap. Yeah. So we tried to get a website, Zen Bitch Slap, for quite a while. The only people that knew anything about computers were young people, and they all went out and drank. So it was a couple of years. We couldn't get one to stay sober enough to finish the website. So finally, we found a guy. He was a little older, and we went down, and I didn't even want to do it, because I'm have some slackerism in me. So we had to go to San Jose, and we met, and the guy's doing the website. And so the people that were there with me were going, well, we're going to have a subscription plan and stuff like that. I said, no, we're just going to offer it for free. Yeah. They said, well, da. I said, no, just for free. Yeah, just put it up. We'll just put the shit up and see what happens. And so here we are. Yeah, I've been I knew my painting career was going to come to an end. So at first, the legs got so bad, I had to specialize in 4 feet and below painting, like baseboards and floors. I could do shit like that. So this was just a side thing, the Zen Bitch Slap, but then it became the dominant thing. And I have to admit, I've been in good hands for all the years. Yes. Yeah. So in a way, I put it to the test. I believed that there was value in this message. Yeah. It wasn't going well in my village. That's why it was good to get the website, because I knew there had to be people. Yeah, I just knew it, whatever. So yeah, there you go. But thank you. All the help I'm happy for. Because, I do have an idea of a lavish lifestyle, and I like to keep it maintained. Yes. Yeah. I have a lot of extravagance concerning recycled goods. As witnessed by people who know me. So yeah, all's well. Thank you, honey. Thank you, Esther. I'm just so happy that you're finding relief now. Go to bed soon. Yes. Okay. Yeah. All right. So let's thank Michael. Michael really is I've got 2 Michaels, Michael Zerbel and Michael Stacy, that have really taken care of the day-to-day activities of the Zooms, most cases. Thank you so much, Michael, really. Yeah. I'm not, this is definitely where I need help, yes? On that level, yes. So thank you very much. Okay, we got Bill Churchman, yeah, and all the support, all of you, just sitting here and just hearing the whole event is great. It's really, it's a living, it's what enthusiasm means to in spirit, I think, yes, to enthuse is in spirit. So I've been enthused about this message ever since it took hold of me, to tell you the truth. So, yep. All right, we've got, let me see. Steve Cole from San Diego. Nice to see you, my friend. We got Tommy, Bill Churchman, Shannon. There's Shannon. Nice to see you. We got Colleen. Colleen did a great job this morning running the other Zoom. Nice to see you, Colleen. We got Sherry. There she is. Thank you for the one cookie I got from all the cookies, and then a lot of support. Thank you. We got Nick C. There he is. Nice to see you, Nick. Tyler. Now Tyler's doing the deed, teaching the young. My hat's off to you, Tyler. Lisa, thank you. As always, thank you for so much more than what you give me is what you are, you know? Yeah, so.
I just can't tell you how much you mean to me, Paul. Your message is so strong here, and I just so grateful.
So fantastic.
I can't stop laughing tonight either. You're a riot tonight.
Well, I wish you better call Amelia and tell her that. Yes, sometimes.
Is she not laughing today?
Sometimes it's wearing thin. No, it's all right. I come up with new ones, new skits, so it's good. Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah. There's Mia. I don't know where the hell Mia is. She's somewhere. Yeah, she's in somebody's porch. I don't know. John, Florida, as always. We got Alan, I think. There he is. Alan, nice to see you, Alan. We got, yes, it's LJ, right? You got LJ. I like that. With the old one, with the Mac, I can see it actually. It's giving me new sight. We got Erin and Tobias. Nice to see you guys. Yes. Yes. Thank you. JA, or as I say in Canada, JA. Yeah. We got Grateful Dave. Yeah. Zoe, my favorite person in Arkansas. You are, by far. Yeah. You moved ahead of the crowd. I can't even see them. They're so far back. We got Lynn Deadmore. Wow. That's a cool name.
I meant to delete my last name for this published
I like
call.
Yeah.
Welsh. It's Welsh, they say.
Yeah. Yes. Well, nice to see you, Lynn. Thanks for coming. Miranda, I'm very happy watching the progress. Yes. Just a simple thing. Yes. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. What is that song? There's no stopping us now. Yeah. Marty. Jack, somewhere in Cape Cod. It's amazing. He just roams around. That's pretty good. It's a nice place to roam around. It's beautiful there. Susan K, my latte lady, drinking one a day, honey. We got Lori. Let me see the next page. I think this was the first one. I think, let's see. I think we're done. Hey, if I missed you, I'm just getting used to this machine. Thank you. Thank you, Shannon, everyone there, Kathleen,
Thanks, Paul.
Sherry. Sherry, yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
See you, we're gonna be here tomorrow. Tomorrow night, it's 7 o'clock Pacific time. Saturday, there may not be a Zoom. It'll be on the website because we're gonna be doing something live in Mexico. But I'll make sure we record them all, yes? Yeah. All right, thank you.